This next section is quite theoretical, but it's important that you understand the concepts of design thinking in order to begin working with the design thinking model and life design model. So design thinking was made famous by David Kelly, who was the founder of the D School or Design School at Stanford University, and the product design firm IDEO. IDEO has worked on projects in consumer food and beverage, retail, computer, medical, education, furniture, office, the list goes on. They were the folks who designed Apple's first mouse. And as you may have guessed, they did this by using a design thinking approach. The approach starts with the need finding portion, which is grounded in empathy or empathize, which literally means the ability to share the feelings and perspectives of another person. In the case of product design, you are empathizing with the user and trying to understand what they may need. In the case of life design, the user is you. And we will be doing some of these self-assessments to give you the ability to empathize with where you are and where you might want to be. Next, we have definition or define. So designers love problems. In design thinking, we put as much emphasis on problems finding as problem solving. In defining the problem, it's all about scoping the shape and the size and the characteristics of the problem you are trying to solve. As easy as this step sounds, we are often working on the wrong problems, and that makes it really difficult to move past this part of the process. Next, we have ideation or ideate. Designers love to ideate broadly and wildly. They love wild ideas because they know the number one enemy of creativity is judgment. Designers use ideation techniques that help get past the brain's tendency to be critical and leap to judgment. In ideation, we go for volume because you choose better when you have lots of good ideas to choose from. Next, we have prototype or prototyping. Design thinking is an iterative process where literally hundreds of prototypes can be made to get to the ideal solution. Life design prototypes are designed to ask a question and get some data about something you are interested in. Will I like management consulting or product management better? Prototypes help you experience these alternatives without committing, so that you can make a better decision about what you want to pursue. And then there is test or testing. So once you have a prototype, you have to test it to see if it works. In product design, you take the prototype to the user, have them use the product, and give you feedback. Once a user sees a rough version of the idea, they usually say, "No, that's not quite right." Or if it's going to do this, it should be something like this. Now that they have something to react to, they can envision how they will use it. And we're back to finding and refining our definition of the problem. In life design, the process is similar. You can test management consulting and product management by prototyping. A life design prototype could be an internship. It could be shadowing a product manager for a day, or interviewing 5 to 6 product managers. This process may look linear on the slide, but because it's an iterative one, we're building, testing, getting feedback, and iterating again. So it's far from linear. And there's one more step that we should add when we're talking about life design, and that's acceptance. As we said at the start, here you are. This is your life. As you ideate solutions, you may have to make some trade-offs or deal with constraints like living near your family, or maybe with your family, or dealing with an illness, or many of the other surprises that life sometimes throws at you. And these are all about acceptance. The key is not to get stuck on something that you have effectively no chance of taking action on. All right, the next piece that we're going to talk about are the 5 mindsets. And so before we can do life design or career design and start engaging with the process, we need to learn to think like a designer. Not only is design thinking a process, it's also a culture of mindsets. These are design tools. Designers build their way forward. You are not going to just dream up a lot of fun possibilities. You're going to build things, try stuff, and have fun in the process. We are often taught in university to be skeptical realists or rationalists, but this is not particularly useful when you are trying to do something new. So let's take a look at the multiple mindsets that make this process much simpler. Reframing. This is how designers get unstuck. It enables designers to examine ways to look at problems differently or through a new lens in order to increase the opportunity for innovation. Curiosity. This makes everything new. It invites exploration. It's an open approach to learning more. Designers look through the lens of curiosity, not judgment or rushing to a solution. This is one of my favorites, radical collaboration. So the answers are out there in the world with other people, and that's where the experience of your life will be. You're not alone. Design is a collaborative process, and some of the best ideas may come from other people. And being aware of where you are in the design process is important as well. And that brings us to mindfulness of process. Are you rushing to a solution? Are you blocked? Are you energized by certain activities and drained by others? And finally, no plan for your life will survive first contact with reality. As I often say to students, quit thinking and analyzing and start doing stuff. Try stuff, test it out, learn from failure, and focus on what happens next. We often talk about fail often to succeed. So this bias toward action is hugely important, and it's one of the most commonly missing ingredients in planning forward and designing a meaningful career.